Something I've wanted to tell you for a very long time, and I'm not sure I'm supposed to say it out loud, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The reality you are living in right now, the chair you're sitting on, the screen you're looking at, the hands holding your phone, none of it is what you think it is. None of it. And the strangest part? Scientists know this. We've known it for almost 100 years. But nobody, and I mean nobody, talks about it the way it actually is. Because if we did, people would lose their minds. So today I'm going to tell you the things scientists won't tell you about reality. Not because it's a conspiracy, not because there's some secret society hiding it, but because the truth is so strange, so absurd, so completely upside down from everything you've been taught, that most physicists themselves don't even like thinking about it. Stay with me, because by the end of these next 20 minutes, the world around you will never look the same again. I promise you that. Let me start with something simple. Look at your hand. Go on, really look at it. It feels solid, doesn't it? You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it. It seems like the most real thing in the world. But here's the funny thing. Your hand is almost entirely empty space. If I took a single atom from your finger and blew it up to the size of a football stadium, the nucleus, the part that has all the mass, would be the size of a single grain of rice sitting at the center of the field. Everything else, empty, nothing, void. You are 99.9999999% nothing. And yet, you don't fall through your chair. Why? Because of forces. Invisible forces. Fields. The solidness you feel isn't solidness at all. It's electromagnetic repulsion between electrons. When you touch something, you're not actually touching it. You never have. Not once in your entire life. Your atoms have never made contact with the atoms of anything else. You've been hovering, ever so slightly, above every surface you've ever sat on. Every hand you've ever shaken, every person you've ever kissed. Think about that for a moment. You have never, ever truly touched another human being. Now that's the easy part. That's the part scientists are happy to tell you, because it's strange, but it's not threatening. It doesn't break your worldview. It just bends it a little. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Here's where physicists start looking at their shoes when you ask them questions. There's an experiment, a very famous one. We call it the double slit experiment. And it is, without question, the single most disturbing thing humanity has ever discovered. Richard Feynman himself, and I say this with all humility, once said that this one experiment contains the entire mystery of quantum mechanics. Everything strange about the universe is hidden inside it. Let me tell you how it works. You take a wall, you cut 2 slits in it, and you fire tiny particles, electrons, at the wall. Now, common sense tells you what should happen. The electrons go through one slit or the other, and you get 2 stripes on the screen behind the wall. Simple, logical, boring. But that's not what happens. When you fire electrons at the 2 slits, you don't get 2 stripes, you get many stripes, a pattern, an interference pattern. The same pattern you'd get if you were firing waves of water, not solid particles. As if each electron was somehow going through both slits at the same time. As if each electron was, in some impossible way, in 2 places at once. Okay, you might say. That's weird, but maybe the electrons are bumping into each other. Fine, so scientists slowed it down. They fired 1 electron, just 1. Waited, fired another, just 1. And over time, what pattern emerged on the screen? The interference pattern. Again. Each single electron, alone by itself with nothing to interfere with, somehow interfered with itself, as if it took every possible path at once. Now hold on, it gets worse. The scientists thought, well, let's just watch. Let's put a tiny detector at the slits and see which one the electron actually goes through, just to settle the question. And the moment, the very instant, they turned on the detector to look, the interference pattern vanished. The electrons started behaving like normal particles again. 2 stripes, just 2, as if the universe was saying, oh, you're watching. Okay, fine, I'll behave. Turn off the detector. Interference pattern comes back. Turn it on. Pattern disappears. Turn it off. Pattern returns. Let me say that again, slowly, because I want you to really hear it. The act of observation, just looking, changes the behavior of reality at the most fundamental level. Particles behave one way when no one is watching, and a completely different way when something is. Now, what does that mean? What does that actually mean? It means that, at the deepest level we know of, reality does not have definite properties until it is measured. The electron is not in one place. It is not in two places. It is in a kind of fuzzy, probabilistic cloud of maybe here, maybe there, maybe everywhere, until something looks at it, and only then does it pick a spot. The universe, when no one is looking, is a smear of possibilities. The universe, when something is looking, is a definite thing. And this is not philosophy. This is not opinion. This has been tested thousands of times in dozens of variations in laboratories all over the world for nearly a century. It is one of the most replicated, most confirmed, most rock-solid experimental results in the history of science. And nobody knows what it means. That's the part scientists won't tell you, not because they don't want to, but because they don't have an answer. We have equations that predict the behavior perfectly. We can use this stuff to build lasers, transistors, MRI machines. The math works flawlessly, but the meaning, nobody knows. Some physicists say there are infinite parallel universes, and every time you observe something, the universe splits into copies, one for each possible outcome. That's called the many worlds interpretation. It sounds insane, but serious people, Nobel Prize winners, believe it. Other physicists say consciousness itself collapses the wave function, that the act of a conscious mind perceiving reality is what makes reality real. Without observers, the universe is just probability. With observers, it becomes solid. Others say there are hidden variables we haven't discovered yet, some kind of underlying machinery we just can't see. And still others, and I'll be honest, this is the one that keeps me up at night, say that reality is fundamentally informational, that what we call the physical world is more like a rendering, like a computation, that underneath all of this, there is just information, math, code if you want to be dramatic about it. I'm not saying we live in a simulation. I'm saying physicists themselves, sober, careful, mathematical people, have looked at the evidence and noticed something deeply uncomfortable. The universe behaves a lot like a system that only renders what's being observed. It conserves resources. It uses probability. It has a pixel size. We call it the Planck length. Below that, distance itself stops making sense. Now let me tell you something even stranger. And this is the part I really wasn't sure I should share. There's another experiment. It's called quantum entanglement. You take two particles, you let them interact, and then you separate them. You can send one to the other side of the room, or the other side of the planet, or, in principle, the other side of the galaxy. And here's what happens. If you measure one, the other one instantly, and I mean instantly, faster than light, faster than anything Einstein said was allowed, responds. Measure one as spinning up, the other is spinning down. Always, every time, no matter how far apart they are, no signal travels between them, no communication, they just know. Einstein hated this. He called it spooky action at a distance. He spent the last years of his life trying to prove it wasn't true. He failed. The experiments have been done. The Nobel Prize was given for it in 2022. Entanglement is real. Which means something deep is wrong with our idea of space. Two things that are far apart are, in some sense, still one thing. Distance, at the quantum level, may be an illusion. Separation may be an illusion. The boundary between you and the rest of the universe may be a useful fiction your brain invented so you could survive. And now, here's the question I want to leave you with, the question I've been carrying around in my head for years. If observation changes reality, if particles can be in two places at once, if two things separated by galaxies can act as one, if 99.99999% of you is empty space, if the universe behaves like a computation, then what exactly are you? You're not your body. Your body is mostly nothing. You're not your atoms. Your atoms swap out every few years. You're not your location. Quantum mechanics says location isn't even a real property until measured. What you are is a pattern of information persisting through time, observing itself. And that's the thing scientists won't tell you about reality. Not because it's secret, but because once you understand it, really understand it, you can't go back to thinking of yourself as a small, separate, solid thing in a big, separate, solid world. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you, and it is observing itself through your eyes right now. I told you the world would never look the same. Now, before you go, and I know you're going to go think about this for a while, maybe even lose some sleep over it, the way I did when I first learned it, I want you to do one thing for me. Look around the room you're in. Really look. Notice how every object suddenly feels different. The the walls, the light, your own hands. None of it is what you thought it was 5 minutes ago. That feeling, that little vertigo in your chest, that's the truth knocking on your door. Most people spend their whole lives never hearing that knock. You just did. If this changed something in you, even a little, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because the strangest thing about reality isn't that it's strange. The strangest thing is that we walk around every day pretending it isn't. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.